All right. In the previous video, we had gone through the process of creating a sidebar layout using Flexbox with very nice CSS transactions. Just to recap, this is what we created in the last video. A nice responsive sidebar with a click action on this hamburger element, which on clicking creates a smooth CSS transaction to hide or show the sidebar. We will take this project a little further. In this video, we will add sidebar menu items, and I will show you how to add a sidebar menu item after creating this setup in just 2 clicks. This is what we want to create. We want to create we want to create a sidebar with menu items. Creating menu items is going to be just a matter of practically 2 clicks, and we currently have the menu item set up at 3. Let me show you a demonstration of doing this with just a couple of clicks. So first, in this video, I'll walk you through after this demonstration about how to set up a reusable element for the sidebar that you can pop it into the the sidebar that we had created earlier. So let's first do the demonstration. I've got 3 nav items, and they follow a similar structure, which makes the process entirely flexible. So right now I've got a navbar which holds this item called Yahoo. Let me add a navbar which for Microsoft. It's as simple as the following. Just click on the last nav item, click Edit, copy special with workflows, edit, paste special with workflows. That's it. Now I will just rename this for consistency, and I use a value to reference the new nav item. And that's it. When you do this, it should get saved, and let's refresh the screen. All right, and you got Microsoft. On Microsoft, Yahoo goes to Yahoo, and Microsoft goes to Microsoft. It's that simple. Just 2 clicks. Now that we have seen the demo of how to add an additional nav item to the sidebar in just 2 clicks, I'll explain the process of setting this up. The focus of this setup has been to maintain and achieve extreme flexibility using reusable layouts and configurable data parameters to create the sidebar automatically. So first, the entire sidebar in the editor comes from a reusable that we'll go over now. So I've created a reusable called RE sidebar, RE for reusable. This is a simple group. The layout is aligned to parent. The width for UI builder is 300 pixels. The max width is 300 pixels. And the minimum height is 300 pixels, 600 pixels. I've added a padding so that the elements inside the nav items inside the container uh, have padding against the holding container. So inside reusable sidebar, I've got a container. The container is simple. Let me go to container. It has an aligned parent layout. The nonce is to the top middle, and it stretches to a minimum width of 100% and a minimum height of 100% in this layout. And inside this, we have a navbar. A navbar is a container below it. It's basically a group. It has a column layout because we want all the nav items to align together through a column. And this has a minimum width of 100% again, a minimum height of 100% because we want to take the entire space available. And the nonce is to the left top. Inside this, we basically got the nav items. The nav items are maintained. Everything till here is is aligned to parent. Now the nav item is something that we would love to have uh, as a fixed layout because we want this transition to be smooth. And ideally, we're going to show this, the sidebar only we have enough space. And we set up the, uh, we will ensure that the icons, the text, etc. follow some convention, that they look good on a 300 pixel width. And the text should fit into a width of 200 pixels. So that's what I've done at the nav item. Every nav item has a width of 200 pixels and a height of 40 pixels. And it has a container layout with fixed, it's a fixed container layout, and the alignment is to the left. And then, as you can imagine, very simple. We've got an icon, and the icon is again uh, uh, fixed. It's inside a fixed container. It has a width and height of 30 each, and that's basically it. Um, and I've got a navbar item, and this nav item is actually going to contain the text that is shown against each item. So all of these are nav item text. That is a nav item text, and comes from a data source that I've configured, which I'll show you next. And this has a layout. Again, it's a layout. It's a fixed layout. It's a width of 150, height of 67 because you don't expect that to go higher, and a margin of 20 just to give it space, a bit of space from the image. On hover, I've got a conditional to change the color of the nav item. Now, first thing to remember, every nav item is going to have a type of content text, and we are going to use this text to dynamically generate the nav item functionality. And every text has needs to be manually written to identify the nav item. So we've got data source of home for the group text, dashboard, Yahoo, Microsoft. Now let's come to the fun part about the data. The data, I'm holding it into an option set because this is anyway going to be literally lightweight. This is going to be all ASCII text. And I'm holding an option set for the sidebar links. The option set has 5 values: the display, the link text, the link target, an icon, and this external knot. Let's look at 2 examples for this. So the home is what the home text in the display text corresponds to the group text for the nav item. So you have for this option set with display of home, this corresponds to the first nav item, which is this nav item. The site nav item, which has the data source of home. Now let's look at the nav item. Nav item displays home, which corresponds to the group data source. It has a link text home, which is what shows up on the display. Then we have an icon, which is again what's used in the front end. External is whether this page is the link required is going to be an external link or a link internally. So the home is obviously a internal page, and so the link target is blind because it's the home page. Similarly, dashboard is an internal page, and this links to a page called admin site. We'll look at it in upcoming videos. And we've got Yahoo, which is an external link. An external link which links to an external site. And every nav item is every nav item picks the values based on the option set. All values in the option set filtered by where the current option set's display is the current parent group's text. So home is going to get home's text, Yahoo is going to get Yahoo's text. And then you get the first item from the option set, And then you can reference any of these values that are in the option site. And here it is icon, this is the image, and here is going to be the link text, which is what's being referenced in the UI. In the UI, which is basically this. Now, let's look at how the functionality is tied up. So every nav item has a workflow attached to it. So every time you copy these workflows, you're copying the workflow. And every nav item basically triggers a custom event, which which is called sidebar navigation, which takes the current group's text. And which is obvious. So dashboard is going to trigger sidebar navigation with dashboard. Home is going to trigger sidebar navigation with home. Microsoft is going to trigger sidebar navigation with Microsoft, and Yahoo is going to trigger sidebar navigation with Yahoo. Again, this is all flexible because this is all coming from the reference flow. And now let's look at custom action. This is fun. So first, when you click on it, you're taking in the name of the option set, item in the option set, which is corresponds to the item to the group data source in the nav item. Microsoft. So when you click on that, Microsoft is what gets sent to the sidebar navigation custom event. Here, simple. You just put in an alert and then you show navigating to which link text just for having a bit of user information and notification. Now, depending on whether the link, the option set item is external or internal, we will run two JavaScript actions from the JavaScript toolbox. If it's an internal action, we have window.open and it sends it to the link target of this particular option set with a target of self. So it loads it into its own page. And similarly, if it's an external target, there's no reference to the home URL. It goes straight to the link target. And through this, we have this functionality that's achieved. So you've got dashboard, which is navigating dashboard and internal site. And then we've got Microsoft, which goes to the external Microsoft. It's that simple, and it's so easy to set up a reusable sidebar layout through this approach. And so effectively, all you need to do is just create a blank template for using in your projects called the default sidebar layout. Actually, let me just go ahead and do that. This is my sidebar layout. And let's say I'm creating a page called let's call it payouts, or let's call it checkout. Checkout is going to have uh, a duplicate of this page. And now I want to add checkout to all the pages in all the pages, and these directly reference the URL. These directly reference the reusable. And this is let me show you the simplicity of it. So all I need to do is go to my data tab, go to sidebar links, create an attribute. Sorry, not create an attribute, but create an item, create an option item. Let's call this checkout. So I've got checkout here. Checkout, modify attributes. Uh, the link text is going to be checkout. External target, no. Link target is going to be checkout. And let me put an icon, dollar SVG icon. Just go here, download as SVG, go pull it up, go over here, sorry, here, yep, and just pop it in. So we've got the dollar icon set up. How that worked? Yep, it worked. All right, and now I just go here, and instead of taking a external, actually I didn't take anything. So here now let's add logo checkout below the external links below dashboard. Edit, copy special with workflows, edit, paste special with workflows. Let me drag it up and let me rename this to checkout. So my data source is now going to work off checkout. Let me rename the nav item to called checkout. And since we've copied with workflows, you'll see that in the workflow section, we've got the checkout workflow added. And it's that simple. So once you do that, click over here. This is the original demonstration. All right. And as you can see, checkout is added. And when you click on checkout, it goes to the checkout page. So easy and simple.